Good evening and welcome to Electronic Game Information. It's day 2 of the Tokyo Game Show 2018. And it's only gotten wilder in the streets of this classic town. If there's one thing we've learned about the convention this year, it is this. When one crazy thing calms down, something even crazier comes along. Earlier today at a Sony press conference, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice lead designer Hidetaka Miyazaki released a bombshell announcement regarding his upcoming project and its claim of how many times shadows can die. Mr. Miyazaki, racked with fits of sobbing, was able to force out the following statement. "We got it wrong. They can die 3 or 4 times. We had no idea." Terrible to see such an otherwise celebrated game developer brought so low. Capcom announced that the upcoming Resident Evil 2 remake would feature compatibility with the Wii Zapper peripheral, and that Mega Man's new name is Mr. Fitzgerald. The recently released Mega Man and Mega Man X Legacy collections will of course receive a patch in a matter of weeks that will make them Mr. Fitzgerald collections. From everyone here at EGI, a sincere good luck to you on your many upcoming adventures, Fitzgerald. The first-person shooter, or FPS genre, is still cranking out the hits, and in other news, Kingdom Hearts will probably come out again in some form or another. This hasn't been confirmed or denied by anyone, but there you have it. It's a popular series that could potentially use a few more HD re-releases, and there's plenty of more relevant subject matter to explore if they want to add a new chapter. The Dire Council of Game Developers had its annual closed-door roundtable. These talks are always kept very clandestine, and it can be difficult to fact-check any rumors regarding them. That said, several anonymous sources have indicated that one of the most heated discussions revolved around changing the standard by which game characters pick up items by running over them. In financial news, the markets wobbled when it was announced that the upcoming PS1 Classic would not include all 3 Colony Wars games, remastered and in widescreen 1080p. The shock was felt throughout the convention hall. Many attendees acknowledged that the Colony Wars trilogy included some of the best spaceflight combat games of all time, and this would have been a perfect time to remind people of their existence. And you know what I say? If they can remaster and re-release an IP with as complicated of a history as Turok, then Colony Wars should be a cinch. All right, let's check out now with our special Tokyo Game Show correspondent, Alan Resnick. Alan, are you there? Alan?
Yes, Robby, I am here.
Alan, what are the streets looking like today?
Well, Robby, when you consider the intensity of yesterday's events, I think you have to look around and assume that everyone is on edge. Yes, every single person is capable of doing something truly horrible. Back to you, Robby.
Alan, Colony Wars is a fantastic set of games, space flight combat games, a trilogy for the ages. I can still remember the thrill of getting together with all of my AI wingmen and blowing up those big capital ships.
I did not play that game, but it sounds like a blast.
Alan, I highly recommend this trilogy of classic games. The second game is actually probably the best of the 3. It introduced weapon and ship upgrades. I always thought that added a lot of depth to the game. Now, I don't always like when action games focus on upgrades as much as that, but Colony Wars, it fit pretty nicely. I thought it added a great deal of depth.
Right, but like I said, I am unfamiliar with the Colony Wars franchise, but I do sympathize with the sentiment.
Okay, well, how about you go, here's what I'm going to recommend for you, Alan, is that you go back and you pick up Vengeance and Red Sun. Those are the second and third games, and those games have a good mix of space flight and in-atmosphere missions. That is missions that are on planets.
Okay.
In the atmosphere of a planet.
Vengeance and Red Sun sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, Robby.
All right. Well, Alan, I understand that you have a special report that you'd like to show us tonight.
Yeah, yes, that is true, Robby. I have a very special report that I have been working on, and I cannot wait to show it to you and all of our viewers. Please enjoy. Here is my special report.
Well, I don't know about all of that, Alan. I did promise you that you could show it,
right.
So I guess at some point we'll have to show it tonight. But first, we got to look at the game that I made up. Sorry, Alan.
Okay, back to you.
All right, now turning back to the game that I made up, regular viewers of the show will recall that when we left, Shadowhawk and Spawn had just received their first mission from the old man Zadok. That's the first story mission. Zadok had requested that they go into the woods and destroy the creature who had once been his wife. Let's pick up right there. Our heroes have just left Zadok and are heading back out of town, back out of Gloomsbrook, when they're stopped by yet another townsperson. His name is Jasper, and Jasper says, "My God, look at you. Has there ever been a stranger pair walking through this town?" And Shadowhawk says, "We're not from around here." And Jasper says, "I should say not. Are you French? You look French." Spawn says, "We're not French. We're from," and then Shadowhawk interrupts and he says, "Don't worry about him, he's confused, we're French." And then Jasper says, "Well, doesn't that just write home? 2 Frenchmen in Gloomsbrook. My brother Giles won't believe it. He's a gunsmith. His shop is near the town's north wall. If you ever need firearms for hunting or for protection, you can go there. He has a wide variety of guns for sale, and he can also craft new firearms for you if you bring him the correct components. Here, let me point the shop's location on your map." And at this point, the player is taken to a map screen where a blue pin is placed right on the spot where the gunsmith Giles' shop is located. A tutorial dialog pops up and says, "This is your map. You can use it to track the location of people, places, and quests. A blue marker indicates a point of interest. A green marker indicates the current active quest. A yellow marker indicates all other inactive quests. And once a quest is completed, the marker will turn white. So as you pass by certain locations like shops or fast travel points, these will be added to the map. At any time, you can press select or menu and see a key of all the different map icons. Okay, so now that the town map is explained, let's keep talking to Jasper. And Jasper says, "Well, now that you know where to buy any guns you might need, I'll let you go about your own business. Where are you off to anyway?" And then Shadowhawk says, "We're headed to the woods." And then Spawn says, "We're going to kill Zadok's possessed wife." And then Jasper says, "The woods? You wouldn't survive a minute in the woods. There's poison in the air that will kill you in an instant. No, 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 don't go into the woods. Not without proper protection. It just so happens that I sell special talismans to protect against the evil that haunts the forest all around us. Any of these charms will do for now, but they have other powers that could come in handy in other situations. May I interest you in anything?" So the screen immediately switches to a shop window where you can see all of Jasper's talismans or charms. They all cost money, which you don't have any at this point in the game. But so a couple things can happen. You can exit without buying anything, which leads to Jasper saying, "Thanks for coming to and looking at my talismans. Come back and see me anytime." But here's the thing: if you exit without buying anything and head back out of town, out into the woods, you are quickly turned back because some kind of evil miasma has covered up everything, all of the woods, and walking into the woods immediately causes damage. And if you stay in the miasma for too long, you die. So what do you do, right? Well, if you choose to try to go into the woods, without a talisman, take some damage and go back, or if you just tried to buy one of Jasper's talismans or charms without exiting, you get the same result. Jasper says, "Good choice. Unfortunately, you seem to be unable to pay the gold I require. But don't worry, I'll give you a special talisman that will allow you into the woods unharmed. But I need you to do a favor for me." And then Spawn says, "Big surprise." And then Shadowhawk says, "What's the favor?" And then Jasper says, "There is an ancient tunnel beneath my house. I can't say where it leads, but I have been hearing things and finding the mutilated corpses of rats. I took my lantern and my sword down into it, but after some time I had passed in the catacomb, I heard an otherworldly sound that caused me to turn and to run. I don't know what it was, but I hope that I never have to hear that sound again." And then Spawn says, "Where is your house?" And then Jasper says, "Here, have the key to my basement. You can enter via the door at the back of the house. Allow me to mark it on your map." The map screen opens up again. You see the green pin. You can see the green pin goes right where Jasper's house is. If you look at the map right now, a dialogue window pops up, asks if the player, if you want to accept the quest, which you should definitely accept the quest, because what's going to happen is you're going to just spend the rest of the game in Gloomsbrook, which is not that big of a town. Okay, so time to go to Jasper's basement. Let's take a quick break now and hear what you guys think of the game so far. We got any callers on the line?
But I hope that I never have to hear that sound.
Hi, you're on the air with electronic game information. It's Tokyo Game Show. I just got through explaining some pretty important information about the game that I made up.
Okay.
What do you think of the game that I made up so far?
I think it's pretty good. There are a lot of good role-playing aspects on it. I don't know, what kind of system are you planning on putting it on? Like what format?
Well, I mean, I'd say, these days you just got to put everything on Steam first and see where else it goes after that, right?
Yeah, I could see that.
So
I
you know,
don't know
my
why you
idea is
couldn't
this.
release
My
it
idea is that
maybe
we
as,
get
like, a pen and paper.
crowdfunding for it, right? The crowdfunding, we gotta get all the licensed properties because there's Spawn and Shadowhawk and a few other characters that exist in other universes, and then we can go about kind of doing another round of crowdfunding, assemble the team of developers for the game, you know, the coders and the art directors and all, and you know, character rigging, all of that.
What kind of other characters are in the game?
Well, there's Spawn and there's Shadowhawk, and you know, there's other townspeople that you're going to meet if you stay within Gloomsbrook, of course. And then, of course, you know, if you watch the previous episodes, you'll know that they were basically pushed into this portal by the Violator.
Okay.
So the Violator's in there, and so is and eventually Hawk's shadow is going to show up. That's Shadowhawk's nemesis. He's a racist.
Okay, that's good too because it's like tying into like actual real world problems as well.
Real world
like a
problems, and we're going back to old America. We're looking at just like how America was before, you know, the modern era, before we started looking at human rights in a more serious way.
Yeah, I think that's great, and it's really, yeah, it has that message that a lot of games, you know, like the new like Death Stranding and like stuff like that is real big, like metaphorical kind of game. And,
yeah,
like,
I mean, you could talk a mile a minute about Death Stranding if you want to, you know, get a crowd. But this is the kind of game that really takes a special kind of mind. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you really need to like delve deep into it. There's a lot of things that like you could unravel that like aren't on the surface.
Alan? Yeah, hold on, Alan. I'm talking to a caller right now about the game that I made up.
Yeah, I just wanted to check in and see if you knew when we might be able to just like show my report real quick.
Alan, it's going to happen. You got to be patient.
That's kind of rude,
we
man.
just I want to talk a little bit more about some other aspects of the game. Still got the. I guess we lost the caller on the line. Sorry that we lost you, caller. I was having a really nice conversation.
I'm sorry.
Alan.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's just important that we show it like today, and it's not going to take long, and then you can get back to your stuff.
I mean, we got a lot of stuff to cover, Alan. We got a video poem coming up. First, we're going to take one more caller. Caller, you're on the air. Electronic Game Information, Tokyo Game Show. Game I made up. We talked a lot about subject matter. We talked about some pretty important issues. What do you think?
Well, I need to know if we're going to be able to date any of the characters.
You're going to do a date? Like,
yeah,
this isn't Fable, okay? This isn't some game where you just walk around a town getting into other people's business. This is a story-driven action RPG. No dating.
Well,
I don't have.
yeah,
nobody has time. Look,
look,
we haven't even started. I just explained the tiniest bit of information about the map. And I haven't talked about inventory management. I haven't talked about the battle system, and that's going to change. And this is a town, a settlement in the frontier of old America. You can't imagine the kind of. There's going to be strategy involved.
Well, I got to go north and settle a farm and then date somebody.
It's not going to happen. I don't. You want to play Harvest Moon? You want to play Stardew Valley? Go ahead and do it. That's not the game. This is a hard-hitting action RPG with dark elements, horror elements, fantasy, and history, and undertones of political undertones.
How are you going to have immersion if there's no way to date and raise a farm, raise a family?
Oh, I don't know. How about gems that you can stick into swords and special bullets that are dipped in wolf's blood?
That doesn't make any sense.
Alan, hold on for a second.
I want to go mine a couple of gems, and I want to go mine it with my boyfriend and my girlfriend, and also our children.
That makes sense.
What are you talking about? Alan? Do you don't even know what he's talking about?
Yeah, I think he's just pointing out. I don't want to talk about it. Never mind. He's pointing out flaws in your game.
No, Alan, back me up.
Alan, look, I need everyone to just be a little bit more considerate. We have a lot of information to go through tonight. We have a video poem coming up. Let's just.
Can we just show Robbie,
Alan, it's not going to happen right now because we have the video poem. Okay.
Right, okay.
Caller, thanks for your time. Thanks for your observations. No way in hell am I going to let any dating happen in this game.
It's a mistake. Back to you.
just left behind Jasper and are now heading towards his house to his basement when all of a sudden a child runs up to you. The child's name is Philip, and the child says, "Are you the outsiders that everyone has been whispering about? You are strange. Where did you get such strange clothes? My name is Philip, and I live in this town. I see all sorts of things because I am small and I hang out on rooftops." And then Shadowhawk says, "Nice to meet you, Philip. My name is Shadowhawk. This is Spawn. We're French. We're on our way to Jasper's house." Philip says, "Jasper? He is strange too. There are many strange people in Gloomsbrook. I see them when I play on the rooftops." Spawn says, "Shouldn't do that. You could fall off and hurt yourself." And then Philip says, "Ha ha ha ha, you are funny and strange. I lost my favorite toy. I'd love to see it again. It is my favorite toy after all." And Shadowhawk says, "So what is it?" And then Philip says, "Ha ha ha, what's the fun in answers? You'll know what it is when you see it." And then Philip runs off, and then you probably just
Robby,
walk the rest of the way to Alan's house.
I'm in.
Jasper's house. Alan, you interrupt me. Alan, I can't see you right now.
Robby.
Yeah, you're walking. So you're walking to Jasper.
Can we just pause? Can we pause for a second here, Robby?
Mm-hmm.
I just think this. I think we're gonna go long if you keep talking about. My thing's like real quick. I just want to show it real quick.
Alan, how about this? We're talking about my thing now. So
Right.
why don't you tell me what you think of the game so far?
I don't know, dude. It sounds fun.
Yeah, what's fun about it? What specifically do you like about it?
I like the little kid on the roof is funny. It's funny.
Yeah, Philip?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you probably want to find Philip's toy, right? You want to know what that toy is. I think Philip's kind of wild.
Okay. Yes.
Alan, people in the chat are asking me they're saying, "Geez, Alan, move along."
I can't speak to that.
Maybe why don't you just tell me something concrete? You've been paying attention, I assume.
Right.
So tell me something else about the game that you like.
I don't know. Spawn's in it, and
yeah. Okay. So what's your favorite thing about Spawn?
Well, I mean, honestly, Robby, I don't know. I don't really understand why Spawn is in a game like this. It's like
because Alan,
it doesn't
the
really make sense.
The Violator pushed Spawn into a portal to mess with it. The Violator was sent to Earth by Malbosia to mess with Spawn.
I think it could be fun.
He put Spawn into the portal, and now Spawn's back in old America.
Robby,
like the 1600s, like the Salem witch trials.
Can I give you just like a little tiny bit of advice? Just something really quick. I just think if you don't use like characters that have huge license fees attached to them, you could have something more like original with your own. If you just came up with your own characters, like maybe expand that Philip character to be like maybe that's the main character. Like I don't think you need like you don't want like all these characters in your game. You wouldn't put like Spider-Man in this game. It's like it's gonna cost you so much. It's not gonna like add that much value to the
Alan,
game.
here's the thing that you don't understand. The games industry is super competitive. It's super competitive. You have to do things. You have to take chances to pull away from the pack. There's so many games, there's so many action RPGs that have come out in recent years.
I'm sorry.
You need something that sets it apart.
Right.
Spawn and Shadowhawk fighting racists and demons in 1600s America. How's that not selling 1 million copies? How is that not the top game on Steam Greenlight?
You're right. Never mind. I think it's a good idea. I think you'll get. I think it's a good idea.
Okay, hold on to your hat because it's about to get really exciting because Spawn and Shadowhawk are just about to enter the basement of Jasper's house using the key that he gave him.
Right.
At the far edge of the basement is a heavy plank of wood, and Spawn and Shadowhawk go into a brief quick time event, like you probably hit A or X a number of times to push the big plank or door. It's leaning up against the tunnel, and Spawn and Shadowhawk take 2 steps into the tunnel. Just as they do that, an FMV sequence plays. And showing off the creature that's been tormenting Jasper.
Robby, can we pause? Can we? I think we really have to move it along. This segment's just taking a long time.
This is the most important part of the show, Alan.
Yeah, I know, but we're gonna run out of time. People in the chat they're kind of like, they're not into it.
They are into it. Look, he's saying they're.
No, he says release it. Boozo says release it freeware. I think it's like people aren't gonna pay money for this. It's just kind of like a fun little project that like a kid would make in college.
This guy says UGH QTE's really Robby. That's really Robby. That's so Robby.
Right. Yeah. Okay, but these people.
Alan, look, the FMV sequence is just the beginning. We have to talk about the battle system tonight, Alan.
Yeah, okay. I just really want to just show my thing, and then I'm not trying to fight with you.
Look, Frisky Killface says shit.
Right.
I think he's talking about you, Alan. I think he's talking about your attitude towards this. This is
No, he's talking
I've
about
been working on this game for years.
No, they're talking about the game. They're talking about how long it's taking. They're talking about how it's kind of like.
I'm into the game. Look, this Sam Dog, he's into the game. He says it right there.
Okay, I know, but the show's supposed to be about the Tokyo Game Show and all this stuff that's happening and like
Superior
fun segments.
Juice says it sucks.
Yeah, he says it sucks.
Yeah, he says what you're doing sucks.
No, he's talking about the game.
No,
Look.
he's not. He says it sucks.
Let me refresh.
When you're talking, it says it sucks.
Hold on. I'm not trying to fight with you. I'm sorry. I want.
Yeah?
Okay. Keep talking about the game.
What?
Keep talking about the game.
You know, I wasn't going to say anything until later on, Alan, but
What?
like after we were off the air.
What are you talking about?
But Alan, I don't know how to say this. I'm extremely disappointed in you.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to fight with you.
No, this isn't about you interrupting me talking about this project that I've been working on for years. I mean, since I was just before I was a teenager. Alan, I found out. All right, I found out that you were just reading the Crusader of Senti Wikipedia page last night.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were, Alan.
No,
you were
I wasn't.
reading it almost
Robby.
word for word. I got.
What are you talking
Standards
about?
and Practices.
Robby,
has
I'm blindfolded.
lawyers,
I wasn't reading. I
and
wasn't
they
reading.
Double check everything that we do on the show, and I get a call at 11 o'clock at night when I'm scooping
on, dude.
cat turds and piss out of the litter box.
I wasn't. Robby,
And they say that this is a Wikipedia page you just aired, and there could be
played the
fines
game.
involved.
I played the Soldier of Senti game.
You did. It's called Crusader of Senti, Alan.
That's what I said.
It was the one thing that you were supposed to do, Alan.
Robby, I played the game that you told me to play, Crusader Sentry. I loved it. It was fun.
Okay, Alan,
I did
you're telling me you did play the game.
Yeah.
That you followed my instructions. I gave you
Yes.
an assignment and you followed through.
I don't know why
You
you're
played
freaking.
Crusader of Senti.
Stop jumping down my throat.
Okay, so tell me about this,
it.
Alan. Tell me about this.
Okay.
So you know the scene in Crusader of Senti where you come across Kayla in the bathtub?
Right.
Did you get in the bathtub, Alan?
Yeah, I got in the bathtub.
You got in the bathtub with Kayla?
Yeah, I got in the bathtub
That's
with Kayla.
really interesting, Alan, because that doesn't happen in Crusader of Senti. That
Robby,
happens in Landstalker.
Robby, that happened when I played the game. In my playthrough, I got in the bathtub with Kayla.
That's simply not feasible, Alan.
I don't know.
I
I don't want to
believe
fight
that.
with you. I don't.
All right? I
Robby,
feel like,
Robby,
you know what I
Robby,
feel like?
you're not
I
listening.
put myself out there. I made sure that you
Robby,
had a nice hotel
Robby,
room.
I flew.
I feel like I invited.
Robby,
I feel like I invited
Tokyo
a demon
for this.
into my
I flew
house.
to Tokyo for this, and it's really weird. And I'm not trying to fight with you. I just wanted to have a good trip. I really wanted to work with you on this.
You messed up.
I didn't. I played the game.
All right, we got a phone call. Hello, you're on the air. It's electronic game information. Taking a bit of a break right now.
This is okay, Robby. We don't need to
Hold on,
involve
Alan.
a caller
I'm
on
taking
this.
a call.
I don't want to do
You
this.
don't take calls.
Can we do this?
You talk to video game characters, Alan. You don't take calls from viewers.
Can we please just do this after? Can we do this after? I don't want to involve people online in this. This is not like a.
Well, I was trying to wait until after the show.
Robby,
I think see what happens.
I think. I'm sorry.
Alan,
no, you're right.
I need you, Alan. I need.
It's my fault.
I
It's
need
my
you
fault.
to just take a breath.
If we.
I need you to take a breath. Okay.
If
I
you
need
play
you to take a breath.
play
You're
the
not-
segment, play my special segment.
It's not going to happen. We'll try to fit it in if we can. We're
think-
we're kind of
I'm
we've got a
sorry.
lot of stuff that we need to get through. Okay.
Damn it.
All right. Let's go to the list.
Don't do the list. Oh my god.
All right. Tonight's list is this is a list of games that have influenced the game that I have made up. The first game on the list is Togi Myth of Demons. This is an action, mystical action, supernatural game. You float in the air. You've got the longest sword that you can imagine, and you slash up monsters with some, I think, kind of connection to a kind of religion. Otogi 2 is also on the list because even though it's basically the same game as Otogi, it had bigger particle effects, bigger graphics, greater monster variety. Otogi and Otogi 2 Immortal Warrior are on that list. Prey, that's the old Prey, not the new Prey. Prey is great. I love System Shock. I love Bioshock. I love all those types of exploration games with weapon upgrades and RPG elements, but we're talking about the old Prey. The old Prey was, of course, a Doom 3 first-person shooter that had portals that you walked up walls and you walked through the outer space and you shot up aliens that they were kidnappers. All right. Elemental Gearbolt is on the list. This is a game that influenced some of the forest stages in the game that I made up. You kind of float around. It's a on rails light gun shooter. You float around. You're shooting up. Sorry, I'm just coming out with stuff. So you're floating around in the forest. You're flying against anime-inspired robots. Condemned Criminal Orders is on the list. This is an atmospheric, supernatural first-person game that has fisticuffs where you're fighting crazy people in the dark. A game like this, you know, you want to take your Spawn, your Shadowhawk, you want to take them out of that comfort zone that they have in the superhero comic books. You want to put them in something new, something unique, something with a lot of atmosphere, and something that inspires me in terms of its atmosphere is Condemned Criminal Origins. Ren and Stimpy, Stimpy's Adventure. You may be thinking, why is such a funny game on the list? Why it just seems like a serious game. You got your all talk about all sorts of kind of issues, political issues, undertones. It's Image Comics, so you know it's hard-edged. It's got an edge. It's hard-hitting. But you know, the one lesson I've learned in my life is that if you don't have time to laugh, then you're lost. And one great thing about Ren and Stimpy's Adventure is that this was developed by Blue Sky Software. Blue Sky Software, of course, brought us Vector Man and Vector Man 2. Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny. It was a great follow-up to the classic Onimusha, which is not on the list because it's I think it's getting re-released, so it's getting a little bit more popular. It's still got the same great gameplay, the same great weapon, sword play, supernatural ghosts, but the second game didn't get as much recognition, and for that reason, almost alone, it's on the list. It had greater FMV backdrops and more. I'm sorry. Let's can take a call, maybe. Hi, you're on Electronic Game Information. We're doing the list. I'm just taking a little bit of a breather here. Had a kind of a dust up with Alan.
Hey, yeah. Hey, gotta be real with you. I didn't listen to a lot of the list. I was very upset that you didn't let Alan.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Thank you for your call. Please, Alan.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say. Thank you for your call. This is the list. We're talking about the games that inspired me to make the game that doesn't exist, that I'm trying to make, okay? I appreciate your call. I appreciate your sentiment. Alan's fine. He's a liar.
I appreciate your inspiration.
Thank you so much. Okay. All right, so let's maybe go. We're going to check out the chat. We're going to check out the chat. You can see Robby. There's a Robby with a smile face. Says Frisky Kill Face. We got some people. People bringing up some pretty nasty things here up in the chat. People saying that Alan should talk about things that I'm pretty sure that he shouldn't talk about. I'm going to go back to the list. We got Genma Onimusha on the list. I talked about how Onimusha, the first game, was not on the list because it was too popular. But what people don't remember is that if you didn't own a PS2 when Onimusha came out and you just waited a few months, you got Genma Onimusha on the first Xbox. That's Genma Onimusha. It's on the list. It had a little bit more say about what kind of game it was. We got Blood Will Tell, another supernatural fly 'em up in the air, slash 'em up. It's a game where you fought monsters in medieval Tokyo, Japan. It was your character didn't have one of his hands. He had just had a sword coming out of the stump. Geist is, of course, on the list. If you wanted a game that answered the question, what do ghosts do with dog food, it's Geist. And speaking of dogs, Cyber Dogs for the PC, the cooperative, friendly game that you play with your close friends, and remember how much fun it is to connect with someone. It's on the list. Stalker is another game with very big maps. Complicated inventory system, takes a long time to explain. It's on the list. Hi, this is Robby. Rackleff, you're on Electronic Game Information. It's Tokyo Game Show. We're talking about Stalker on the list.
Hi.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. People are saying some. People are typing on the chat,
Yeah.
so I'm hoping to hear some voices up in the air. Tell me how maybe I'm not I'm not quite the person that people are saying that I am down here.
Oh, Robby, I think
down in the gutter.
The game sounds good. I like this. I like the list.
Thank you. Any games that you saw heard on the list that stood out to you?
Cyber Dogs. I mean, that's a.
All right, Cyber Dogs is a great example of a classic game, a game that just had everything where it needed to be. If you could tell me the one kind of weird trivia about Cyber Dogs, I can't give you anything or send you anything, but I could just say thank you for being one of the few people who knew about Cyber Dogs. It's about the sound.
Gosh, I don't know if I remember. It's a while.
You could take a guess. I don't know.
I got nothing.
All right, well, thank you for your call. We got a few more games to go to on the list. Chalk and Forever Man, Amnesia Dark Descent, also great games. A lot of you want to share with your friends. Dark Seed 1 and 2, great game with a lot of wild backdrops. You go out of normal-looking buildings into crazy places. That's Dark Seed 1 and 2. CD-ROM, classic game with the work of H.R. Giger, or is it Geiger? Someone said calling me a liar. Well, maybe you're lying to yourself. All right, thanks. Prisoner of Ice and Shadow of the Comet. These are coming to the end of the games that inspired me. These are games that had a lot of point-and-click adventure games, Lovecraft horror, MS-DOS. The Prisoner of Ice, of course, is a game that takes place in and around a submarine in the Antarctic, inspired by Mountains of Madness and other things. Shadow of the Comet, inspired by some of the more land-based Lovecraft stories with a lot of point and click, a lot of items, manipulation, puzzles, you name it, it's got it. And the last game on the list is Clive Barker's Undying, which if you're if somebody with a lot, if you're a young person with a lot of imagination, you could probably take Shadow of the Comet, which takes place in like the 1910s, and Prisoner of Ice, which takes place some time after that, and put Clive Barker in the middle of the timeline. Undying. All right, that was the list. A long time ago, I saw an ad for Virtua Fighter 32X that said patience.
You promised.
Alan, I've got this segment that I do at the end. You know about the segment.
Yeah, it's at the end.
Yeah.
And you promised I could show my thing.
Well, I don't know what to say, Alan. We ran out of time.
No, we didn't.
A lot of your little interjections causing trouble.
Yeah, but Robby, I'm sorry. It's so
I'm
short.
sorry too, Alan. I'm sure I know that you put a lot of work into the special report.
Robby, I did. I really wanted you to see it.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time. I got the closing monologue here.
Right.
I got it's going to happen. Sorry, we just ran out of time.
When?
Well, you've seen the rest of the schedule, so we don't have time during this year's episode. So you're just going to have to wait until next year, Alan.
Robby, next year.
Yes.
I flew to Tokyo.
You did. Well, I flew
had to get
you
a house.
Tokyo.
I had to get someone to watch my house.
It came out of my budget, Alan. I put you up in a nice hotel.
I'm sorry.
And you told a lie.
No, you told a lie.
I've not lied to you, Alan. I've told you the truth. I gave you.
Rewind the tape.
I don't need to read. I was there. The lawyers were on the phone last night, Alan.
You promised me that we would. You said I could show a special segment. I put time into it.
All right.
Are you gonna show it?
You lied, and lying is bad. It's a sin.
I did not lie.
There has to be repercussions, Alan. If you're going to be part of this family, if you're going to be in this circle, all right? There's got to be repercussions to your actions.
And what about you, hypocrite, liar?
I haven't lied, Alan. I've told the truth.
You explicitly said off camera. You said I would get to show my piece, and then at the beginning of the show, you said you would show my piece. You brought it up.
Well, that was before you.
I didn't. I'm sorry,
Alan. I've got a closing monologue that I need to do. The producers are
have fun.
Are bug-eyed.
Have fun.
I don't really. It takes all the fun out. What do you say? Alan lied. He's always people say I'm a bad man, right? I'm a bad man because I ask things of my friends, people that work for me. I ask them to be truthful, be honest, and if I don't, things just fall apart. So let's go back to a monologue. A long time ago, I saw an ad for Virtua Fighter 32X that said patience is a virtua, and then I talk about Fallout 4, how I play Fallout 4, in a way that I would play if I was in a situation like that. If I was in a post-apocalyptic world, what I would do. I try to be me. But I use my wife's name because I want to better represent gender parity in video games. So it's me. It's not me playing as my wife. I'm me. Just being myself. Just with my wife's name. All right, this is Robby Rackleff reporting to you live from Tokyo Game Show 2018. And we will be back for another day of news and coverage of the Tokyo Game Show. Same place, same time, Tokyo, Japan. Stay safe out there, everybody. I mean, what are you going to do? It's just...